Section 23 of Poems of American History, the Colonial Era. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Poems of American History, the Colonial Era. Chapter 6, Religious Persecutions in New England, Part 2. Scarcely were the Massachusetts magistrates rid of Williams, when they found themselves engaged in a much more threatening controversy with Mrs. Anne Hutchinson and her adherents, who believed in various dangerous errors, and carried their contempt for the constituted ministry to the point of rising and marching out of the Boston church when its respected pastor, John Wilson, arose to speak. The other ministers of the colony rallied to Wilson's support. The General Court summoned Mrs. Hutchinson before it in November 1637, and pronounced sentence of banishment, which was put into effect March 28, 1638. Anne Hutchinson's exile, March 28, 1638. Home, home, where's my baby's home? Here we seek, there we seek, my baby's home to find. Come, 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 my baby, come. We found her home, we lost her home, and home is far behind. Come, my baby, come, find my baby's home. The baby clings, the mother sings, the pony stumbles on. The father leads the beast along the tangled, muddy way. The boys and girls trail on behind, the sun will soon be gone, and starlight bright will take again the place of sunny day. Home, home, where's my baby's home? Here we seek, there we seek, my baby's home to find. Come, 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 my baby, come. We found her home, we lost her home, and home is far behind. Come, my baby, come. Find my baby's home. The sun goes down behind the lake, the night fogs gather chill. The children's clothes are torn, and the children's feet are sore. Keep on, my boys, keep on, my girls, till all have passed the hill. Then ho, my girls, and ho, my boys, for fire and sleep once more. And all the time she sings to the baby on her breast, home, my darling, sleep, my darling, find a place for rest. Who gives the fox his burrow will give my bird a nest. Come, my baby, come, find my baby's home. He lifts the mother from the beast, the hemlock boughs they spread, and make the baby's cradle sweet with fern leaves and with bays. The baby and her mother are resting on their bed. He strikes the flint, he blows the spark, and sets the twigs ablaze. Sleep, my child, sleep, my child. Baby, find her rest, here beneath the gracious skies upon her father's breast. Who gives the fox his burrow will give my bird her nest. Come, come, with her mother come, home, home, find my baby's home. The guardian stars above the trees their loving vigil keep. The cricket sings her lullaby, the whippoorwill his cheer. The father knows his father's arms are round them as they sleep. The mother knows that in his arms her darling need not fear. Home, home, my baby's home is here. With God we seek, with God we find the place for baby's rest. Hist, my child, list, my child, angels guard us here. The God of heaven is here to make and keep my birdie's nest. Home, home, here's my baby's home. Edward Everett Hale. Among the converts made by Mrs. Hutchinson during her stay in Boston was John Underhill, commander of the colony's troops. He became involved in the controversy that followed, and as a result was disarmed, disfranchised, and finally banished. In September 1638 he betook himself to Cocheco, Dover, on the Piscataqua, where some of Mrs. Hutchinson's adherents had started a settlement, and where he afterwards held various offices. John Underhill, September 1638. A score of years had come and gone since the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Stone, when Captain Underhill, bearing scars from Indian ambush and Flemish wars, left three-hilled Boston and wandered down, east by north, to Cocheco town. With Vane the younger, in council sweet, he had sat at Anna Hutchinson's feet, and when the bolt of banishment fell on the head of his saintly oracle, he had shared her ill as her good report, and braved the wrath of the general court. He shook from his feet as he rode away the dust of the Massachusetts Bay. The world might bless and the world might ban. What did it matter, the perfect man, to whom the freedom of earth was given, proof against sin and sure of heaven? He cheered his heart as he rode along, with screed of Scripture and holy song, or thought how he rode with his lances free, by the lower Rhine and the Zuyder Zee, till his wood path grew to a trodden road, and Hilton Point in the distance showed. He saw the church with the blockhouse nigh, the two fair rivers, the flakes thereby, and, tacking to windward, low and crank, the little shallop from Strawberry Bank. And he rose in his stirrups and looked abroad over land and water, and praised the Lord. Goodly and stately and grave to see, into the clearing space rode he, with the sun on the hilt of his sword in sheath, and his silver buckles and spurs beneath. And the settlers welcomed him, one and all, from swift Quampegan to Gonic Fall. And he said to the elders, Lo, I come, as the way seemed open to seek a home. Somewhat the Lord hath wrought by my hands in the Narragansett and Netherlands. And if here ye have work for a Christian man, I will tarry and serve ye as best I can. I boast not of gifts, but fain would own the wonderful favor God hath shown, the special mercy vouchsafed one day on the shore of Narragansett Bay. As I sat with my pipe from the camp aside, and mused like Isaac at eventide, a sudden sweetness of peace I found, a garment of gladness wrapped me round. I felt from the law of works released, the strife of the flesh and spirit ceased. My faith to a full assurance grew, and all I had hoped for myself I knew. Now, as God appointeth, I keep my way, I shall not stumble, I shall not stray. He hath taken away my fig leaf dress, I wear the robe of his righteousness. And the shafts of Satan no more avail than Pequot arrows on Christian mail. Tarry with us, the settlers cried, thou man of God, as our ruler and guide. And Captain Underhill bowed his head, the will of the Lord be done, he said. And the morrow beheld him sitting down in the ruler's seat in Cocheco town. And he judged therein as a just man should, his words were wise and his rule was good. He coveted not his neighbor's land, from the holding of bribes he shook his hand. And through the camps of the heathen ran a wholesome fear of the valiant man. But the heart is deceitful, the good book saith, and life hath ever a savor of death. Through hymns of triumph the tempter calls, and whoso thinketh he standeth, falls. Alas, ere their round the seasons ran, there was grief in the soul of the saintly man. The tempter's arrows that rarely fail had found the joints of his spiritual mail. And men took note of his gloomy air, the shame in his eye, the halt in his prayer, the signs of a battle lost within, the pain of a soul in the coils of sin. Then a whisper of scandal linked his name with broken vows and a life of blame, and the people looked askance on him as he walked among them, sullen and grim, ill at ease and bitter of word, and prompt of quarrel with hand or sword. None knew how, with prayer and fasting still, he strove in the bonds of his evil will. But he shook himself like Samson at length, and girded anew his loins of strength, and bade the crier go up and down, and call together the wondering town. Jeer and murmur and shaking of head ceased as he rose in his place and said, Men, brethren, and fathers, well ye know how I came among you a year ago, strong in the faith that my soul was freed from sin of feeling, or thought, or deed. I have sinned, I own it with grief and shame, but not with a lie on my lips I came. In my blindness I verily thought my heart swept and garnished in every part. He chargeth his angels with folly, he sees the heavens unclean. Was I more than these? I urge no plea. At your feet I lay the trust you gave me, and go my way. Hate me or pity me as you will, the Lord will have mercy on sinners still. And I, who am chiefest, say to all, Watch and pray, lest ye also fall. No voice made answer, a sob so low that only his quickened ear could know, smote his heart with a bitter pain, as into the forest he rode again, and the veil of its oaken leaves shut down on his latest glimpse of Cocheco town. Crystal clear on the man of sin the streams flashed up, and the sky shone in. On his cheek of fever the cool wind blew, the leaves dropped on him their tears of dew, and angels of God in the pure, sweet guise of flowers, looked on him with sad surprise. Was his ear at fault that brook and breeze sang in their saddest of minor keys? What was it the mournful wood thrush said? What whispered the pine trees overhead? Did he hear the voice on his lonely way that Adam heard in the cool of day? Into the desert alone rode he, alone with the infinite purity. And, bowing his soul to its tender rebuke, as Peter did to the Master's look, he measured his path with prayers of pain for peace with God and nature again. And in after years to Cocheco came the bruit of a once familiar name. How among the Dutch of New Netherlands, from wild Danskamer to Haarlem sands, a penitent soldier preached the word, and smote the heathen with Gideon's sword. And the heart of Boston was glad to hear how he harried the foe on the long frontier, and heaped on the land against him barred the coals of his generous watch and ward. Frailest and bravest, the Bay State still counts with her worthies John Underhill. John Greenleaf Whittier. End of section 23.